What is going on, friends? Hello, welcome. Stormie Calder here, your favorite psychic medium, shaman, high performance coach. In today's video, we're going to talk a little bit about the firestorm of energy that is 2025. And I'm going to dive into the specifics of what that means, regardless of gender, but in channeling your own divine masculine and divine feminine sides of yourself to work in harmony with your inner gender dynamics, because honestly, that is what creates magnetism and flow, is the magnetic pull between the push and pull between the divine feminine and divine masculine inside the self and then in the external world. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to say is the reason why I'm covering this is because the external world is in a real state of chaos, whether or not you have acknowledged it yet. I know many of you have. Also, I try to keep my nose out of the specifics of that culturally, and it really does compete with my ability to be in my own energy, my own bubble, and channel, but I can already feel all of the energy dynamics coming up. So there's a really hostile environment that has been set culturally, especially for the US, but worldwide in general, because we have that effect on the world, around what it is to be a masculine and what it is to be a feminine. And if I can be super honest, that in healthy dynamics is not really being highlighted or shown culturally in example. And the cultural state of what it is to be a masculine and what it is to be a feminine and whatever that means for you is being demolished at the collective level, and we are being led to find solace within our own internal landscape of how we perceive our femininity and how we perceive our masculinity. Again, regardless of gender, but I think I'm probably going to err on the side of women in this video, but we'll see where I go here. Also, if you're new to my work, please subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. God knows we need more bells ringing. Do you know that every time a bell rings, an angel gets its wings? I just got my wings. No, I got my wings a while ago. Anyway, love you guys. If you are new to my work, go check out some of the links in the description below. I have many different programs and workshops, and I have 3 free trainings on the Akashic Records, a healing source code activation meditation, and a cash infusion meditation that you can all get for free in the links below. So go check that out. Okay, so diving in a level deeper, I'm going to share with you guys how I've been interpreting the energies personally. Again, like moving forward for this year, I'm really going to be very clear in how I am navigating these energies, because I have my own wave that I ride that is much more comfortable than any level of a collective energy wave or frequency. And then you guys can learn off of my example and whatever I teach along the way. All right, so I have noticed within myself, I have had to become much more strict, disciplined, and defined in my own inner masculine landscape, my own inner divine masculine. I have been setting boundaries like it's my MF job. I am showing people their place in my life or their lack of place in my life without reservation. I am always polite, but I am strict is the word that's coming through, and that is a masculine trait, and I know how to balance that. We'll call it alpha stance, alpha energy, from a place of assertiveness that is healthy. And there's a level of dominance, and that word has been coming forward a lot from my guides to me, is understanding dominant energy, and that's what we're being led to discover and understand through 2025, through this year. All right, so last year was a water year. Last year was an emotional year. A water year is a feminine year, and I showed up much softer last year, and I think that worked for me and for you guys. This year is a fire year. Fire is masculine. Fire is spirit. Fire is the spark. It's the burn. It requires a significant amount of discipline in order to work with fire in a way that is not chaotic and in a way that is constructive. And I am happy to speak on this topic because I've mastered all of the elements, but this is an element that I have a ton of mastery around. I'm very good with my internal discipline. I am a woman, but my own divine masculine within myself is very strong and is very defined and very protective and all providing, and is happy to lay down the law when it's necessary, which is going to be happening all year. So welcome to the club. You're welcome to model off of me. I do embody a healthy masculinity within myself. My higher self has complete balance over both gender polarities, and I understand the sexuality and the polarity work, the personal development work within each gender, which is also why I can coach both genders. So overall, there's a real focus on the defining and the discipline of masculine character and what it is to be a man. Okay, like what it is to be a healthy man. I don't know that many men know, if I could be honest. I come across a lot of people in my way of life, and I haven't met that many that are truly rooted in their healthy masculinity. They're usually overdeveloped in one way or another. You know, I live in Los Angeles. It's like the queen, king of men that like to act like women here, men that are highly submissive, men that let the women lead. And this is also the land of the boss babe, the boss bitch, the boss, like, women claim masculine traits. It's the gender roles, the gender polarities are flipped in Los Angeles. I don't know if it's like that in the rest of the country or in other big cities. I could ask my friends for how New York is, but no, because honestly, even out in LA, like the only men that actually directly ask me out are usually from Brooklyn. So overall, I think there's a lot of confusion as far as what is a healthy masculinity and what is a healthy femininity. Mostly the roles are gender swapped. It's very confusing. Women act like men act like women, and then we're all just fucking confused. So the thing about having a dominant fire element this year, and I'm not even going to back away from it or make it like, oh, it's just purely esoteric. I live in Los Angeles, and Los Angeles has been up in flames and in fire. So, which I also feel like was, you know, there are so many high vibrational light beings like myself that live in Los Angeles. We plant our little tushies here in LA. So what is healthy masculinity? It's not forceful. It's not aggressive. It is space claiming. I think alpha gets bad territory because I like a bad rap, because I think that your typical alpha man is very, very toxic and abusive. And that's not what we want to embody within ourselves and culturally within masculinity. The healthy masculine is assertive. He is direct. He is committed. He knows what he wants and he gets it. He is in active pursuit all of the time. He sees a world and then creates it. He builds from the material plane, from a position of understanding, negotiation, boundaries, respect, provision, bulldozing, creating the path where one didn't exist before, right? Then we've got the femininity and the feminine state of being. And gosh, culturally, what has been held up on pedestals for women is the damsel archetype. And even for those of you that are men, it really doesn't matter about your gender. You're still carrying, generally speaking, a damaged, wounded, damsel-like feminine energy when you think about or when you project your own femininity, which is why so many of you are submissive, and then you step into the alpha, aggressive, abusive role to make up for the damsel role that you want to distance yourself from. Then we've got a lot of women that are just in damsel mode, and God help them. Hopefully they will come and follow me and find me so that they can learn femininity from a place of divine feminine. Now, in my community, I'm going to speak directly to the women that have mastered their masculine traits. Most of the women that are following me have mastered their masculine traits because we live in a world that is not supportive of true femininity. We live in a world that tries to bulldoze over femininity, call it progression, and then bury it somewhere. We live in a world of misogyny. Don't hate me, I'm just going to speak the truth, all right? There is such a level of disrespect of the feminine that if you are feminine, you do have to claim your space and your right to your femininity, which I'm going to go into in depth. And if you are a healthy masculine, then start supporting healthy feminine women and healthy feminine energies and give them that safety and space and support without categorizing them as a wounded karmic damsel. All right, see them in their power, see the softness, see the sweetness, see the femininity, not as a weakness but as a strength, not as weakness but as kindness. Not as something to be taken advantage of, but a privilege to be around, a privilege to have access to, because that is how femininity is accessed in its divine nature. Now, with the understanding that we are in a fire year, which is a dominant masculine archetype, and fire is dominantly chaotic, all right? That means that we are overdeveloping and being kind of forced into energetically our masculine structure, again, regardless of gender. Now, the reason why I'm going to go into this for women in depth right now is because of the level of importance that is behind when we have to control the burn in our own masculinity. We are naturally going to, if we are women, we are naturally going to step into masculine traits, and it will become over-identified in our character through 2025. And I don't want you there. All right, baby, you deserve to sit back, lay back, and be feminine. So here's what you're going to do for the women. In order to balance these energies, the way that you're going to maneuver yourself through 2025 with grace and poise and support and love is you are going to over-index in your femininity while holding your masculine boundaries. Don't let that shit go, okay? You're going to have a lot of discipline, but to balance it out, you have to carve out space for your soft, sweet femininity. And what I will say to all of the women following me is I would start dating yourself. And I don't even care if you guys are in committed partnerships, marriages, relationships, what have you. Date yourself, okay? Tell the man, like, chill out. If you're in a relationship, tell them, like, I need 1 day a week for me. I'm taking myself on a date, and I'm gonna look real fucking gorgeous, and I'm gonna go out, and I'm going to go date myself. Because you need to hold that space for your own softness, your own femininity. I can't even say this enough. I think it's so under-indexed, under-identified, overlooked. And I think it's really, really important for women. And most people don't do it because to some level or another, they're either judging themselves or they're getting judged by others. Because in our society, women are supposed to be the damsel. It's so unhealthy. It's so codependent. It's so disgusting in so many ways to me. I kind of hate to take that stance, but I don't. Real divine feminine strength is in beauty. It is in presence. It is in occupying the state of being the queen, the empress, the princess, depending on what level of development you're in. It's focusing on, knowing that we do live in a chaotic world and that you are going to have to set boundaries and you are going to have to occupy that state of awareness of protection while also creating space for retreat, while also creating space for your own personal oasis in your heart and in your mind. This can look like setting aside a day a week. This could be 4 hours a week. This could be an hour a week or an hour twice a week. Take yourself on a fucking date, okay? I highly recommend getting dolled up, looking amazing for you, not for anyone else. Ultimately, to feel balanced with all these masculine energies that we're going to be forced into refining the fire energetics, we need to carve out the space for beauty, for self-care, for femininity, for sensuality, for nature, for the earth, for being in nature, for curiosity, for exploring for the sake of exploring, for play, for enjoyment, for sensual love. And even as I'm saying these things, like, it's opening up my heart space in a way that feels safe because I'm by myself. There's no one with me. I'm like, okay, I'm safe to, like, be in my own sensual vibe. And I can feel myself tapping deeply into my emotional space where I am inherently grateful, where I can feel my feminine essence just, like, feeding me and protecting me and providing for me. And for you guys to know, don't go give that to a guy. Like, they feed off of divine feminine essence. Your femininity is for you. It is how you nurture yourself. It is how you tap into Gaia, into the planet, and allow yourself to be in a fountain of youth within yourself. It is how you restore your energy in the quantum with your soul. It is so precious and so important and so nutritious that this world tries to strip femininity of femininity. Now, for those of you that are listening that are men, you can support these aspects of yourself by not taking on the role of a woman in relationships with women. Allow women to be women. And you can be in the masculine energy. You can be in the strength energy. You can be in the more mental energy, and allow the women around you to feel softer. you'll find that if you occupy that state of awareness without being crazy alpha, without being mean, without being overtly controlling, but just being in a position of like gentle and loving leadership, not looking to women for validation or approval, but just holding the space of like appreciating femininity for what it is without looking to take anything, without looking to get anything from the woman, just holding the space and seeing how beautiful a woman is when she is feminine. And the most even masculinized women that had to become their own inner disciplinary force and boss, because this world has created us into being this, will soften under your gaze and in front of you because they want to. They're just all under survival instincts. And then to cultivate that soft, sweet, feminine nature within yourself as a man, honestly, I mean, I'm going to be real, like, y'all should be taking yourself on dates too. Like, what isn't hotter than a man taking himself on a date? Like, take yourself out to dinner. Go see a show by yourself. Like, go look good for yourself, but not to go pick up a woman, not to go do anything other than to be with you. And that is, again, that is nurturing that inner femininity. It is bringing the balance so that you're not overtly submissive in this world in one way. And a lot of men aren't overtly submissive, but they see women as wounded, as damsels, as submissive, and then they project that onto women. And then women, are taking on those traits for them in their environment. So I don't know. Own your stuff. Again, just a quick conclusion, wrap up here. We are in a fire year. It is so chaotic of energy that we are all going to be essentially coaxed and forced energetically by the forces of nature into our masculine states of awareness, whether those are lower level karmic or abusive states of awareness, whether they are alpha, mean, controlling states of awareness, or whether they are benevolent, divine masculine, supportive, upholding, discipline-based states of awareness, leadership states of awareness. And as we know that, then we need to carve out additional space weekly to guide and balance our feminine energies through creating space to be sweet, to be soft with the self-care, amplifying and understanding beauty. Beauty is not just an external surface level energy. Beauty is a light power. It is a dominant force of light. It is how you can work your light through beauty, specifically for women. For men, we can say enhancing your appearance. That beauty is an external glow as well as like your internal beauty. Like, how are you working your own personal development work? How are you stepping into the states of awareness that involve more curiosity, fun, play, without expectation, without projection, without trying to make anything or anyone around you submissive, and without submitting. A lot of men tend to put women in the submissive category because around other men, they are submissive, and they're afraid to even stand in their own dominant light power because they're afraid to be challenged because they're used to probably being surrounded by abusive alpha men. The way that we balance our energies this year, especially for women, is carving out space for femininity. I love you guys so much. Thank you for joining me. If you love this video, please go give it a thumbs up, subscribe, tap the bell for notifications. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below. What you think, what resonates, or if you have any good supportive thoughts on the topic. That's what I've got. Thank you so much for joining me, and until next time, I will see you later.